Hello everyone and welcome back. So last week I released my video on Califlower Mk2 and yes, I made some mistakes. Not only in the pricing and subscription wise, but also in the information in the video. Like the information was not wrong, I just missed stuff out which would have been important. I didn't want to make the video like hugely long, so I cut stuff out and it made it sort of confusing and not very good, unfortunately. So yes, mistakes were made, so today I'm going to be correcting those mistakes. I'll tell you about the fixes that I'm going to be implementing, the changes that I'm going to make, and a couple of things that I overlooked in the original video. Hopefully this time I'll get everything right, but at the end of the day, I'm only human. So I'll do my best, and let's see where we get to. Let's start off with arguably the most important thing, and that's the corrections and fixes to the pricing structure stuff. I don't want to make this video longer than it needs to be for people that just want that information. So here it is. There is no more subscriptions for non-commercial licenses. So this is now just a £10 fee. The price is just £10. And I've put in an additional tip or whatever thing. So you can pay extra if you want to. It's completely optional just because a number of people said the pricing is fine. They're happy to pay more. But I didn't want to ask like 20 or 30 pounds for a single thing. So we've got £10 as the price, that's a full lifetime license, but if you want to pay a little bit more, you can do that. That's the new price. When it comes to the lifetime license, I do really mean it. If at any point Vector 3 shuts down and we cease to exist, and therefore can't provide the Califlower with the server and all this kind of stuff, then we'll create a fully offline version for you to use at any time, anywhere. This will be open sourced, so you can get to all the code, you can make any changes, and whatever. So yes, a fully open sourced, downloadable, available version if Vector 3 closes at any point sometime in the future. For anyone that's already purchased on those non-commercial licenses, you will be just moved on to the full lifetime license, regardless of what you paid. But if you paid, of course, over that £10 fee, then you'll be refunded everything down to that. Please just be aware that it will take a little bit of time to do that, all that transfer, because a lot of it will probably have to be done manually. On the commercial licensing side, those are still done on annual subscription, and I think honestly that it still does make sense in that area. Just because they run a lot more printers, they're going to have a more consistent need for Califlower and calibration and precision. They're of course also making money from that venture, so hopefully I think that makes sense for everyone that's in that commercial area to subscribe to Califlower rather than just the one-off lifetime license. One change we have made to the commercial licensing is that we've brought the price down quite significantly to be more in line with the lifetime license of the non-commercial use. Now that I covered those pricing changes, I want to cover some of the bits of information that I missed in the first video that are quite important, but I overlooked at the time, so I'm going to cover those now. Firstly, I wasn't very clear on what stopping support for Mark 1 would mean. Everyone thought like I was just closing off access completely to it, and that's not really the case. By stopping support, what I mean is it's no longer going to be for sale, and I won't be providing email access like one-to-one questions on how to use it. You can still download it, you can still use it, you can still do pretty much anything you were doing with it before. It just won't be updated because it works, like it has all the features that it has, and that will be how it stays. You can still download it, so for anyone that's been using it, is an existing customer of that product, you can still get it. Like, I'm not going to block you from having it. Even if you like accidentally deleted the version you have, you can download a new copy and continue using it. That's totally for you. However, as I said, it's no longer for sale and we won't be providing email support. You can still join the Discord and discuss with other people there. There are plenty of people there who have used it very successfully, and a lot of them have been willing to help others with questions. So there is ways to get support, just not directly one-to-one through me. I have been a little bit sick the last few days, so if my voice sounds a little bit weird, that is why. The next thing I made a mistake on in the last video is kind of explaining what that subscription was for. It just kind of sounded like you were just paying again and again and again for something that just was going to stay the same. And that was not really how I wanted it to come across, so definitely my mistake there. My plan with the calculator is to keep adding stuff to it over time. Add new features, maybe new calibration tools, new instructions and new methods, and of course, just maintaining it over time. So that's where that cost would have gone. What I wanted to avoid was people buying things on a promise of things that are not there. but then of course they're not going to buy them because I've not even said that they're not there. So it doesn't make sense to have the subscription for things that don't yet exist, even if we've kind of got a year before you actually pay again. You know, that whole thing just doesn't really work. The subscription needs to be significantly less than the value of the tool, so you feel like you're getting a good deal now rather than potentially a good deal in the future. So yeah, a little bit of a just brain fart there on me knowing the things that it can become and me presenting the things that it is now. The other reason it potentially went wrong is that while I understand people don't really like subscriptions, I think the extent to which people dislike them and the reasons for that were not very clear to me. At least from my experience, they're different to what other people have shared with me since releasing that video. For example, for me, I just don't like when companies try to take more money than what you were willing to give. For example, a membership fee you might pay once a month, but if at any point you want to cancel, they have like a 60-day cancellation fee. So you end up paying another 2 months because you have to give 60 days notice or something before you can cancel, which is just really bizarre and I don't really like, which is why I try to make the policies really friendly and made a big point about it in the video, because for me, that was the thing that I didn't like about subscriptions. But loads of people have loads of different reasons. So yeah, over the last few days, I've tried to talk to as many people as possible about the subscription. What is not good about it? Is it the total price increasing because you add money every year? Is it just the general policy? Is it the actual price, like the value of the tool? Have I just got the value wrong and the subscription is fine if it was just cheaper? And all these kinds of things. And in general, I think the overall arching feeling was really, it's just the subscription. People are willing to pay more for a tool that is better than it was before. So the value is there. People just really don't like signing up for something with the expectation of paying ongoingly, even if it's like £2 a year or something. It's just not nice. I think the last mistake, well, maybe the last mistake, but one of the other mistakes I made is my valuation for the annual subscription to Califlower was based on being able to use it as many times as you like throughout the year. But it's clear from, again, the feedback from the comments in the video that people don't necessarily expect to use it more than once in a year. Now, if you only have one printer, that's probably reasonably sensible. If you have a couple of printers or you're into like getting new ones or building them and that kind of stuff, or you move them around and have to recalibrate, then other people will use it more than that. But I think the people that were expecting to use it once or twice a year, even if you get a whole year, 1 or 2 uses for £5 to £7, doesn't feel great. So there's just that disconnect between my thinking of, well, it's an entire year, and their thinking of, I'm only going to use it twice in that time period. So yes, by having a lifetime license, you can use it as many times as you want for as long into the future of that software as possible. So hopefully that clears that up. I think that was definitely a mistake again on my part. So I think that's going to be it. I've probably not covered everything again. It was a very complicated issue. A lot of people shared a lot of different opinions, although they sort of all linked back to subscriptions. I've tried to decipher them as best I can and talk to as many people as possible. So hopefully this new model works for everyone out there. Obviously, as I mentioned, we do still have licenses on the commercial side. Again, let me know if you feel that that's completely unsuitable, but I think in a commercial environment with more printers, more consistent usage, that is going to make a little bit more sense. We have taken the price down, so hopefully you feel that's fair. Thank you everyone for your patience and for watching this again. Califlower Mk2 is available. Hopefully you're still willing to take a look, and there's a link down below.